this is John Cole with OKRAW.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you. In this episode, actually, we're not going to talk about diet, which is what I normally focus on this channel, although this is my health-based channel. There's a lot more to your health than just your diet, and as I've said in previous videos, I'm about 100% health, not necessarily 100% raw foods diet. While you may not agree with me on my dietary style and what I eat, I hope you will embrace this video, because this video will be able to help you out without even changing your diet, right? We are organisms that need food, we need rest, we need a lot of things in our life, and I'm not the expert on a lot of things. I play around and toy around with a lot of things, especially my diet and trying to eat as healthy as I am able. But one of the things that you guys could all change starting tonight, because hopefully you're sleeping at night, is your rest, your sleep, right? Getting good sleep is one of the most important foundational health principles in the world. If you're not getting good sleep, you can't be healthy despite eating the best diet in the world. I've been really fine-tuning my sleep for many years now, and I want to give you guys an update on what I'm doing these days. I'm going to share with you guys 10 products I use, to get more restful sleep. And that's the thing, right? We all sleep, but are you getting fully restful sleep, going through the different, stages of sleep, the different stages to make sure that you get the healing that you need and optimizing. So these principles, some research shows that some of the things that I'll be recommending to you can be helpful to increase your sleep. And all I know is if I sleep in the methods that I'm going to share with you guys when I'm not like traveling and whatnot, I feel a lot more rested the next day and full of energy and ready to get up and just go and do things, right? And how many of you guys like get up in the morning and feel still tired, right? These are really not good things. Now, of course, I live inside. I don't live in a tent outside, sleeping on the ground, which would probably really on some levels be optimal as long as the bugs don't get you. And I like to lead a more minimalist lifestyle is my ideal and goal. I'm not quite there yet, at least with my bedroom. My sleeping area I have nice and minimalist. I actually have like a bucket as my nightstand. And this is the bed I sleep on. So I want to explain to you guys actually the 10 products I use to get good and restful sleep. So the first product I use that I would highly recommend, this is probably in order, some of this is in order of like cheapest to most expensive, and also the ones that I think will benefit you guys the most to the ones that may have lesser benefit. But the number one thing that you should invest in highly, even if you don't do anything else in my crazy videos, is do this. This is my window. I have double blackout curtains, right? I have one blackout curtain that's like a two-piece, so you could like pull this apart. You guys can see the window outside, then have another blackout curtain on top to make sure that this room is completely black when I'm sleeping. That's very important. Make sure you turn off any kind of LEDs or any kind of mouses that light up. You want to have all light sources off. You want to sleep in complete and utter darkness, right? Your eyes could sense the light, and if there's even a little bit of light coming from a little LED charger or something stupid, right, you may not sleep quite as well. And this is something very easy and simple to do. I think some of these were like at Walmart for $5 or something like that. Simple blackout curtains. Now, if you want to get light in the day, of course, you could open it up and it's going to be super bright outside. But actually, this also saves me money in heating and cooling costs, because it keeps the sun out in the daytimes and keeps the heat in the winter. The second item I'm going to recommend for you guys to sleep more restful at night is this. This is actually a weighted blanket. So if I lift this up, it's like actually rather heavy. What happens inside each of these little pockets, they're glass beads. It'd be cooler if I could get like lead beads in there too, because then act as a double purpose. But these are glass beads inside here, and this is a weighted blanket. So when I go underneath here at night, it puts weight on my body, and I kind of feel like I'm being held or comforted, right? They have these things for dogs that are basically constriction blankets. You put it on them so they kind of feel, wrapped and hugged around their body, and they're actually calmer. I believe the weighted blanket can be quite helpful. I actually have a 20-pound weighted blanket, although I will say that it is recommended online weighted blanket website say you should probably get about 10% of your body weight, especially with small children. There may be some kind of suffocation issues with using weighted blankets. So I encourage you guys not to put them over your head, just up to your, up to your neck, and not put weight on your head. But to me, weighted blankets, when I started using them, I felt it took my sleep to the next level. I just felt more cuddled and coddled. Maybe if you have a partner that's cuddling you every night, maybe then you don't need a weighted blanket. But I like using them anyways. Now the next thing that I use besides a weighted blanket, and that's on top, underneath here, if you notice, I have the standard bed sheet down here. But what I have here is a sheet that has actually all these lines in it. So what this is actually called a grounding sheet, and how I use the grounding sheet is, this is like a full-size grounding sheet that actually I have folded over into like half a sleeping bag. So there's like a crease on this side, so I basically sleep on the grounded sheet, which is on top of the regular bed sheet, and then I have it folded over up on top, so I kind of slide right in here when I'm sleeping. So I have the grounded sheet on the bottom and the top of me to make sure I have good contact. This plugs into my electrical outlet of the grounding prong. It's that third prong on the grounding prong that then is grounded to the ground, to earth ground. There are books on earthing and grounding. I would encourage you guys to look those up. You may think they're hogwash, you may think they're BS. The grounding sheets can be kind of pricey. The full-size grounding sheet is maybe around $100, although you could get like a half sheet and just have like a strip in the half that you want to sleep on, or maybe they even have grounding pillows. If you just want to get one of those, they're like 20 bucks, and at least have your head on the grounding pillow, which should ground you completely, provided the grounding could go through your hair. But I like to have as much body contact on the grounding sheet as possible so that I could be earth grounded. Once again, if you sleep outside naked on the earth on the ground, right, you will be grounded. We should be walking barefoot outside in the day. We're all in these shoes that are basically insulating our feet from the ground. I believe being grounded is very important. They say there's an electron transfer that happens better so that we can heal more effectively. Maybe you think this is hogwash. Maybe you think it isn't. I think it's totally legit, and when I sleep grounded, I sleep a lot better, and take that for what it is. Worst case, if grounding sheets are a scam, right? I wasted like $100 on a grounding sheet. And if you really want to even do it cheaper, you don't even need a grounding sheet. You could get like a grounding cord. So if you work in electronics, right, you could plug this third plug into like the grounding outlet, and then you could have a bracelet that you just connect to the outlet. I mean, those things are $6, so you could try it, and those should ground you sufficiently. And if you're really cheap, you could, pound a stake into the ground outside your window, run a wire in, and then just wrap the wire around you a bunch of times. I mean, that just kind of gets inconvenient. I'd rather just do it the more regular way with a grounding sheet. It just seems a lot easier to me. The fourth product I use to get better sleep at night is right back here. If you notice, it's just kind of sitting here because I'm kind of ghetto like that. I don't have like a real light fixture for this. It's actually stuck back there pretty good. I wedged it in there. And what it is this. This is just basically let me turn it on here. It's a red light, so this puts out red and I think IR light. I think it's at 2 different spectrums. But anyways, this is a red light. Right now I have my standard like blue lights, which is my daylights on in the bedroom for for the video. But at night I don't use the overhead light that has the the daylight light, right? Daylight light is great for the morning time and maybe the mid-afternoon, but not the evening, right? If we lived outside in nature, right, the sun would go down. When the sun goes down, we should be going to sleep, so you want to try to get to bed as early as you can. That being said, I'm always up quite busy, and my goal to get to bed is usually, my goal to be in bed is by 11 these days. I used to stay up later, and I try to get ready to go to bed by 10. Sometimes it's even as early as 9, but it just depends because I also listen to my body. But here's the thing, after 8 p.m., right, and the sun's been setting here at this time of year at 7 p.m., I no longer use the white lights that are on in this video. I will only illuminate things with red lights. So my other room where my desk and office, I have red lights in the ceiling. So those come on at night. Otherwise, I use the ambient light from the outside, from the window in the daytime. And then when I come to bed, all the lights come off except for this one light. So actually, let me go ahead and show you guys what it looks like. All right, so this is what my bedroom looks like at night. Pretty much, we've got a little bit of ambient light coming in from the window, but it's pretty much blocked out. So at night, this is what I see, right? My eyes aren't being blinded by white light. You know, I believe this is to be very important because this is more modeling nature. And there's a lot of studies on the red light therapy. Actually, I do also red light therapy in the mornings when I wake up, you know, really close to my body for like, you know, healing and rejuvenation purposes. But at night, I just use the red light as the ambient lighting so that the light that I'm exposed to is not like the blue light, which is supposed to be really bad. In addition, if you guys are on your phones late at night, which my goal is to not be on my phone or my laptop at night, you should put on Night Shift. That's an app you guys could get, or if you have a laptop using, you could use an app called Flux, and that will basically remove the blue light, the harsh blue light, from your screens so that you could sleep better. You know, or I guess the other thing you could do, you get blue light blocking glasses if you really want to get into it. But yeah, I believe strongly that the red light after 8 p.m. at night has been helpful for me so that actually I'm a lot more calm and I sleep a lot better. A red light like this will probably set you back like maybe 30 or 40 bucks. So the next item I use for better sleep is an air filter. I mean, after all, we're hopefully breathing 24/7, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I use an air filter so I have nice, clean air. You know, there's big issues with indoor air quality. And the air filter will get out some of the little particulate and debris, especially some of you guys might live where there's been the fires and whatnot. I believe filtering your air is actually quite important to take out some of the things in the air, like off-gassing from different things that you may bring into your house, as well as just small particulate, PM 2.5 and whatnot. And I have different air filters throughout my house. My office has like a better one than this, but this is the standard one I just minimally recommend. It's just the Winnix, and it has a HEPA filter as well as a carbon pre-filter in there, and that's just a good basic filter. The better filters are like catalyzing, ionizing filters, which is like what I have in other parts of my house. But this one's a good solid filter, and this one's available at Costco. I think they're like around maybe $100 or $200, I forget. But yeah, I mean, I think this is like an accessory, but I feel a little bit better with this, sleeping with this. But some of the other items that I shared earlier, I think could be a lot more beneficial if you don't have the extra money to buy an air filter. The sixth product I recommend to get more restful sleep is what you sleep on. So we're gonna go ahead and pull up the weighted blanket, pull up the grounding mat, pull up the standard sheet, and pull up this thing that I'll be talking about in a second. But underneath here we have basically a bug blocking, you know, whatever mattress cover. And if you can see the mattress underneath here, this is actually a natural latex mattress. I researched a lot before I bought this mattress. This mattress is flippable, so on one side the latex is more soft, and the other side the latex is more firm. Depending on how I'm feeling, I could flip it over and have a more firm mattress. I actually have it on the softer side. This company is coming out of Phoenix, Arizona. If I remember, I'll put a link down below to where I got my mattress. And this mattress really, it makes sleeping more comfortable. Also, in addition, many mattresses may off-gas many different things. I mean, some mattresses may be, you know, treated with different flame retardants and whatnot. This is an untreated mattress as far as I'm aware. I formerly slept on like an organic futon that I actually had to get a doctor's note so that they wouldn't put flame retardant in there. But I want you guys to sleep on a non-toxic bedding, whatever that is. I mean, you could fill up some straw in a mattress if you wanted or something and sleep on that. I don't really care, but sleep on something comfortable to me. You know, I really like my natural latex mattress, which is basically like rubber. It's like a rubber. And it doesn't off-gas. I don't smell any funky smells from it. You know, watch out for some of those foam mattresses that are out there. They could off-gas, you know, horribly and emit different chemicals that you're breathing in that are really not going to be healthy. Now, buying a good mattress is actually quite spendy. I did try to get the, you know, natural latex one from IKEA, but I had to return it because it off-gassed and I didn't feel good about it. But this one that I got from Phoenix, you know, I've been quite happy with it. I've owned it for a number of years and it hasn't sagged or sunk or done anything weird for me. So the seventh item I use to get more restful sleep is actually this guy right here. It's actually called the Greenwave dirty AC filter. So it filters out the AC wave coming in your house so that it's more peaceful and calm. Some of you guys might think this is hogwash. I happen to believe it. Worst case, once again, I wasted a bunch of money on these AC filters that don't do anything. But I got a meter that shows me otherwise. So we're gonna go ahead and plug my meter in to one of these outlets here. And if you guys look on the meter, I don't know if you guys could see that on the meter, but it's basically at 76 millivolt is the noise, which is already low because I actually have two other filters plugged in the other outlets in this room. If I didn't, it might be like 200 something. Now we're gonna go ahead and plug this one into one of the outlets here, and it says 76 and 76 on the readout. And if we plug that in, you could notice it now says 76 on the top one because that's what it was, and now it has been reduced to 29. So now we actually have lower noise. If I started unplugging all the different filters that are in this room, because you need more than one in most cases, it'd be over 200. So this is a much more calmer energy is what I would say. In addition, aside from using this for the AC noise, I don't have any kind of extraneous wireless noises. You know, my phone is always in airplane mode, so there's no Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. Link down below for my video on how to make your phone safer. In addition, the Wi-Fi is turned off in my house. I do not use Wi-Fi. Actually, I have wired internet coming to like this bedroom. Should I need it, I could plug in that wired cord into my laptop or my phone should I want to use it. So I would encourage you guys to, you know, minimize any kind of external stressors that will happen to your body, including the AC noise, including, you know, any kind of wireless signals as well. I believe you'll also get more restful sleep. My 8th tip for getting more restful sleep is to calm your mind at night. Whether you want to do some kind of meditation on your own or whatever will kind of ease your mind. My brain always runs at 50 miles a minute and all kinds of thoughts and things I'm thinking about, and sometimes it's hard to quiet. You know, one of the ways I do that is through using different kinds of, you know, meditation apps. So I have a meditation apps on my phone, but in addition, I also have pre-downloaded YouTube onto my phone so that it doesn't have to be connected to listen to it. And I'm just gonna go ahead and hit start. It's actually the Yoga Nidra meditation video by Bulletproof. Actually, it's like a 20-minute guided meditation. We're gonna go ahead and start it.
Begin to get ready for Yoga Nidra. Find a comfortable place to stretch out and lie down. You may want to have a slight pillow underneath your head.
Right, so basically it just calms me down and takes me through a guided meditation, and while I go through the meditation, like after the meditation, I'm usually fast asleep. Another thing that's been quite helpful for me is on Netflix, there's like a sleeping, you know, show. I think it's by Headspace Sleep on Netflix that you could listen to and watch. There's also another meditation or a guided kind of thing that will work you through you know, so that you could get more restful sleep and fall asleep easier. It's like, you know, just basically relaxing and counting backwards and all these kind of things. I think those can be quite helpful to get you kind of in the right state to go to bed so you will get more restful sleep in the end. So the 9th product I use to get better restful sleep, I don't sleep in a regular hat, but what I do is I have a sleeping hat right here. So this is my sleeping hat, it's my sleeping beanie, you know, and I like to sleep in this beanie because number one, it just kind of, you know, it's kind of like, it puts pressure on my head, so like I feel more comforted like this. That's kind of like the weighted blanket for your head because you're not supposed to put the weighted blanket on your head, so it kind of like presses it in a little bit. Plus I put this all the way down. I could use this to like cover my eyes actually, so then it's kind of dark, you know, as well if I want to. Sometimes I'll just leave it up, but in addition it also keeps my head warm, which I think is a, you know, I like to keep my head a bit warm. But in addition, this is also made by Shield. And this is actually an EMF blocking, you know, hat. So you may think that is helpful or not. For whatever reason, when I'm sleeping in the hat, you know, I always put it on at night, and that's just my routine. I always feel more comforted, and I feel that I sleep better with it on. Now, some nights, you know, maybe I'll brush it off and it'll come off in the middle of the night. But most nights, you know, I wake up with it on, and, you know, of course, I'm well rested, and the hats are pretty inexpensive. All right, the 10th and final thing I'm gonna recommend to you guys, and this item's probably the most expensive item in this whole video, and this is why it also went last. I feel to be of major benefit for where I live. I live in the Southwest desert, and you know, it gets quite hot. It's over 100 degrees, 110 degrees some days in the summer. And it's really hot. I keep my AC like at around 79 degrees in my house, otherwise the AC bill would be just insane. And so it's actually kind of rather warmer in my house. But there are proven scientific studies showing that we really want to sleep, underneath, under 69 degrees to have the best sleep. If it's too warm, because here's the thing, like if we modeled nature in nature, right? We would model the sun, we would go to bed when it's dark, right? We wouldn't have the blue lights at night like many of you guys do, and how I had that for many years of my life when I was younger, even into raw foods, because I was not aware of that. But in addition, at night, it also gets cold, it gets cooler out, so our bodies, key in with the light. It also keys in with the temperature, right? If it's still warm, our bodies won't get well rested. And so we should sleep below 69 degrees. Whether you want to turn your whole house AC on and spend a lot of money for that, which your bill will go up a whole bunch, or you could do other methods to cool yourself down. And that's what I've done. This is a recent investment that I made, and it's one of the best things I bought all year because I use it every single night. And it just pays itself back because I don't have to put my AC for the whole house down when I'm just sleeping in one bedroom. And what it is, it actually goes on top of your mattress, underneath your fitted sheet, and it just looks like this. And what it is, this is a cover that sits on top, and what it is, there's water channels inside here. So what happens is water will run in these channels to basically cool you down or heat you up. It's actually known as the chili pad. That's the one I got. There's a couple different competing brands, and there's these cheap ones from China that are probably in like some kind of plastic stuff. Anyways, I invested in the good one, and that's what I'd recommend for you guys, a chili pad. It works amazingly. And so there's two parts to it. There's this little, cover that goes on top of your bed. Now these only come in like, a twin size. So if you have like a full size, you'd have to get one for you and one for your partner, so you have individual controls on each side, and then it basically goes down to a base unit that I'll show you right now. So you guys can see we're at the base of the bed, and at the base of the bed, out of this thing, there's like two pipes, so one's like the inlet and one's the outlet, and these pipes basically connect to this box right here, which is known as the chili sleep box. And what happens is this is like a cooler, so it's not like a refrigerator, but I believe it's like a thermoelectric cooler. So it basically uses the air, and even if my house is at like 80 degrees or 79 degrees, this cooler will get down to around 65, and if it's maybe like 75 or so, I could get this down to 60 on its own. It does put out some heat, so you want to put this underneath your bed and give it some room around it. Don't stack stuff near it so that it can dissipate the heat. What happens is there's a little spout right here that you fill it up with water. This is the water I use. I use distilled water so that it doesn't get any mineral deposits and doesn't keep it, messed up. I do have to fill it every once in a while because the water does like evaporate or something. So we're just going to go ahead and pull it in there. And if you don't put enough water in there, it'll give you a little light like, hey, the water's out. Add water, and then it just won't work for you. Now the other thing is you could turn this on, and you could see the temperature is currently at 82 when you turn it on. There's a little motor that goes on that's very silent. You could barely hear it. Or a little pump, and it's actually pumping the water through the system, and as it pumps it down, it's going through the chiller and will cool it down. You have two buttons on here, a cold button, which I currently have mine set at 60 degrees, but you could set it down as low as 55 or even low to make it just keep going as low as it can. Might be at 55 or even lower depending on the ambient temperature of your room. And then, so it gets it colder, so I leave mine at 60, but maybe like in the winter time, if you want it warmer because it's just too cold in your bed, you could crank up the hot button, and now you could crank it up, you could crank it up to high, which is basically above 110. I don't know that I'd want to sleep when it's 110, but maybe you could use that for sauna purposes to heat you up to sweat. Based on the research, it's definitely best to model, cold temperatures and sleep in the cold. So the best thing to do is you want to kind of sleep as cold as possible, so that it does not wake you up. Because if it's too cold, it wakes you up, then you've defeated the purpose completely. And actually, maybe the better thing to do would be put this on a timer and have it as cold as possible all night. And then maybe around whatever time you're going to get up at, whether that's 6 or 7, you could have it on a timer to turn it off at that time, so it'll actually heat up a little bit, and then we'll wake up. Because we would naturally wake up with the sun and wake up when our body got a little bit warmer in nature. So, that's what I'm trying to do with my sleep and also with my diet. We're trying to model nature and eat a more, natural diet, which is a plant-based diet to me, because that's what we eat, and especially high nutrient, phytonutrient, plant-based diet. And also do the things to model nature, be grounded, sleep at the right temperature, not have the blue light because we wouldn't have that in nature, and then use some other gimmicks and gadgets that I believe would be helpful to get better sleep. Alright, so that's pretty much it for my sleep episode today. Sharing my 10 products I use to get better sleep, and I want to give you guys the bonus one that actually you don't have to buy anything to do. The bonus tip is simply this. I find it best when I stop eating at like 8 p.m. at night and I go to bed, 10 or 11. You want to stop eating at least minimum, and you should probably do more, 3 hours, but if I do 3 hours, I'm feeling good. You want to stop eating 3 hours before you go to bed. You want to have your stomach empty. And if you do need to eat late at night, eat something light. Drink a juice or eat some fresh fruit that's going to digest a bit faster. I encourage you guys not to eat right before bed. That's something I did for many years, and now I'm really seeing the error of my ways, and I could have done a lot better all these years, right? And that's just really important. So you want to stop eating as early as you can, and just due to my schedule and the volume of food I eat, water-rich foods, my eating window is between 9 a.m., which is actually right after this video. I got to drink my first juice, and 8 p.m. I would like to cut that back a little bit even further to like 7, but I'm not quite there yet. I'm trying to take it easy because even just hitting 8, sometimes it's a bit more challenging for me because I also don't like to eat by a clock. I eat whenever I get hungry, and likewise I try to go to bed when I'm tired, and if I'm getting up, like today I got up at like 5 or 6 a.m. By like 10 or 11, I'm usually pretty sleepy, and I'll just fall asleep naturally, and then I'll just start the whole cycle over. I definitely believe that getting up earlier and going to bed a bit earlier is more health beneficial than waking up later in the afternoon and then going to bed super late at night. But of course, everybody needs to follow their own body's circadian rhythms, and I just try to listen to my body, and I think that's the most important thing in this episode is listen to your body. Maybe you get a weighted blanket and you think it sucks and you hate it and you're stressed out because of it. Don't use it, man. Try these different things. All these things work for me, otherwise I wouldn't be sharing them for you guys. And try them and see what you think. Maybe they're going to help you, maybe they won't, and that's just what it is. But yeah, I love that chili pad. It's the best thing I use. It keeps me cooler. I sleep a lot more soundly, and I'm confident I'm getting more restful sleep because of it. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and share with others that want to get more restful sleep at night from using some of the products that I've shared with you guys today. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button right down below so you don't miss out on my new and upcoming episodes that come in every 5 to 7 days. You never know where I'll show up or what you'll be learning on my YouTube channel. Make sure you click the little bell so you get notified as my videos come out. And finally, be sure to check my past episodes. The past episodes are a wealth of knowledge. Over 600 episodes at this time on this YouTube channel dedicated to teaching you guys all about how to live a healthier lifestyle through eating a plant-based, nutrient-dense, fruit and vegetable-dominated diet. So with that, my name is John Kohler with OKRAW.com. We'll see you next time, and until then, remember, keep eating your fresh fruits and vegetables. They're always the best.